Herzlich willkommen nach dem Konzert zum Gespräch. Ich hoffe, alle haben etwas zu trinken. Es wird eine kleine babylonische Sprachverwirrung geben. Neben mir sitzt links Kristjan Randalu aus Estland, der allerdings mindestens so lange in Karlsruhe wie in Tallinn gelebt hat, wahrscheinlich länger, und inzwischen in New York lebt. Und rechts Trygve Seim, der auch überall gelebt hat, in Norwegen, in Ägypten und gut, im Moment in Frankfurt. Wir werden Englisch reden, we'll talk in English, we try. Huh? Und wir reden Deutsch. Und okay, ich fange rechts an. I start with you. Helsinki Songs. You told us why you called them Helsinki Songs, because all this material was written in Helsinki in this apartment of the Composers Association. But okay, why songs? I didn't hear nobody sing.
Maybe not, but you can call a song without singing song, can't you, Kristjan? Or
aren't there songs without words?
Must be, yeah. So.
Okay, so words and lyrics are not necessary, but melodies.
Yeah. That's for me. There are more songs. This music that we play tonight. I think last time I played in Frankfurt was maybe 2001. I think with my large ensemble with a wind orchestra of 10 persons, and with that ensemble, it's more compositions that is written through.
So it's the Different Rivers project.
Different Rivers and Sangam project, and but with this project, it is songs, more toward even a bit like the American tradition of writing evergreens of songs, and it is songs that we play with all four of us. Like melodies with chords that we can play around and make music of, in a different way than I do with my large ensemble, where something is written from start till end during the concert. But also I like some years ago I released a record with ECM together with a pianist, Andreas Utnem, and Manfred Eicher. He wanted this record to be named Songs for Saxophone and Piano, and I really loved that title that he wanted to, because it's kind of simplifying what it's down to the basic what it is. It is songs. That one is songs for piano and saxophone, and this is songs for a quartet. And since I wrote most of these songs in Helsinki, I like to call them Helsinki songs. Actually, one of the songs in the middle of the concert is actually called Helsinki Song without an S. This song, I remember I was going to stay 3 weeks in one of the apartments there. I came into the apartment, I put on my suitcase and went immediately to this old, beautiful sounding old piano and just wrote that song. And I thought, okay, that has to be named Helsinki Song because it's my Helsinki song, so. And also this quartet is, the drummer is from Helsinki. Kristjan is from Tallinn, a bit south of Helsinki. And we are a bit west from Helsinki, Mats and I from Oslo, So Helsinki is a natural center of this quartet.
And instead of really singing, you play the saxophone, because the saxophone is the bearer of all the melodies you are playing there. Well, I think you're one of those quite rare contemporary jazz musicians who are not afraid of playing real melodies.
Yeah, maybe that's true. I like playing melodies, yes.
And for you also, a very important thing is the sound.
Yeah.
The sound of the saxophone is very, very special. When listening to you, you don't hear saxophone, you hear quite half a dozen, several wind instruments.
Yeah, that might have to do with I have been listening a lot to different wind instruments from the oriental part of the world, like Hariprasad Chaurasia, the bansuri, the bamboo flute player from India, and also several duduk players from Armenia I've been listening a lot to, and also been so fortunate to play with some of those duduk players, and also ney players from the Arabic world. And I have actually been trying to get that sound in when I play, but and after many years I realized I cannot get any of those sounds. I cannot sound like a bansuri flute, or I cannot sound like a duduk or like a ney from Egypt, but still.
But you can stop to sound like a saxophone.
Yeah, there is something interesting in that way between those instruments, you know, that something different comes. For a long time I was actually not so happy with not managing to sound like, for example, a duduk or a bansuri, but then I realized that this in between is also special and makes a difference. Yeah. But also, I'm searching for. I'm playing on very old saxophones. That actually one guy in Berlin, a saxophone player and saxophone repairman. I met for 25 years ago, and he said you should play on these old con saxophones, and I did. After a while, I decided to try his things, and now also I play on his wooden mouthpieces, which are special. Nobody, very few people play on them. One friend of mine from Iceland does, and me. So, and this also gives another sound for the saxophone. Yeah.
Kristjan, du hast nicht die Chance, mit dem Klavier den Klang allzu sehr zu verändern. Klavier klingt immer wie ein Klavier und die Stimmung ist immer die gleiche, diese wunderbaren Glissandi, die Trygve spielt, kriegst du auf dem Klavier ja nicht hin. Fühlst du dich da als jemand anderer in der Band?
Also ich würde dem ein bisschen widersprechen. Also ein Klavier klingt nicht wie ein Klavier. Also weil gut, als Pianist ist es immer so eine Nuancensache, aber ich glaube für mich das aufschlussreichste Erlebnis irgendwie war einmal, als ich 2 Schlagzeuger an einem Drumset gehört habe, und das war so ein fließender Übergang spontan in einem Konzert, und einer ist eingestiegen so mitten im Stück und hat alles übernommen. Die gleichen Sticks, die Becken blieben, alles. Und das klang wie ein komplett anderes Instrument. Und dann ist mir klar geworden, wie viel. Ich dachte immer, okay, Klavier, weil ich so involviert bin. Ich weiß, dass man kann etwas so anschlagen oder eben anders und das Instrument zum Klingen bringen oder eben nicht. Aber eben dieser direkte Vergleich mit dem Schlagzeug, das ist mir so klar geworden plötzlich, wie viel eigentlich der Spieler machen kann. Also in dem Sinne, natürlich, das kann man jetzt nicht vergleichen mit den Klangmöglichkeiten, also grundsätzlich von anderen Instrumenten, wo man den Klang variieren kann, nachdem man ihn produziert hat. Ich meine, mit dem Klavier ist es einfach, jeder Ton ist vergänglich und einfach verklingt.
Es gibt Metaphysiker, die behaupten, dass bei Thelonious Monk jedes Klavier, und sei es noch so gut gestimmt, nach wenigen Minuten verstimmt geklungen hat. Und hinterher dann aber wieder in Ordnung. Kannst du dir das vorstellen?
Ich habe eben eine völlig gegensätzliche Geschichte gehört. Ich glaube, es ging in dem Fall um Herbie Hancock. Es gab ein Konzert und anscheinend war der Flügel ganz schlimm verstimmt. Und das Konzert wurde gespielt und es klang okay. Und nach dem Konzert hat jemand anderes kurz drauf gespielt und es klang furchtbar. Also ich glaube, es ging dann darum, die Tasten zu finden, die noch in Ordnung waren. Also
Ja, eine der berühmtesten Klavierplatten der Jazzgeschichte, das berühmte Köln-Konzert von, wie hieß er? Keith Jarrett, wurde auf einem Klavier gespielt, wo etwa ein Viertel der Tasten nicht funktionierte oder verstimmt war auch.
Also ich finde, dass die Aufnahme super klingt. Also ich meine, das sind natürlich so Geschichten, die im Nachhinein sich gut anhören. Aber also gut, anscheinend stimmt ja schon, dass dieser Flügel nicht für die Aufnahme vorgesehen war. Aber dann kommt es wiederum wahrscheinlich dann doch nur auf den Spieler drauf an, eben die Töne zu finden, die klingen. Und es geht ja viel weiter als nur Stimmung, auch jetzt bei ideal gestimmten Instrumenten wie der Flügel heute. Man findet ja auch Register oder Stellen, die aus irgendwelchen Gründen besser klingen, besser schwingen, besser funktionieren. Und bei solcher Musik, bei der man sich im Moment anpassen kann, dann zieht es auch einen, denke ich, mehr dorthin. Also dementsprechend variiert auch die Darbietung oder die Interpretation im Moment.
Trygve, we were talking about sound. When you wrote these Helsinki songs, did you have special musicians in your head playing these tunes?
Well, these songs are more maybe, like the last song, it was written for the Rumi project that I have. But I started, when was it, in 13, I think, maybe. I played in Hamburg, the radio, and Kristjan was playing with Dafür Josef, the second act. I played the first act, and I remember his beautiful way of playing really touched me, and already then I asked him if he would like to join for a quartet project, because I was thinking about this.
May I correct the history? I think we just happened to have the same 6 a.m. flight from Hamburg to Copenhagen, and we were sitting together and we were talking about all kinds of things and exchanging CDs.
Yeah, that we did too. Yeah, yes.
I don't know. Maybe the quartet was already in your head, but
yeah. Actually, you invited me to come to Estonia.
You came to Estonia first and played there.
The singer. Yeah. But the quartet idea was in my head, at least. I remember, even at the concert when you played, and at the flight the next morning. The 6 a.m. flight. Yeah. That was early. You got us into the gold fast tracks of it.
But compared to other bands of yours, this is really a jazz band, isn't it?
Maybe it is.
The lineup is not to be misunderstood.
No, that's
Drum,
true. I mean,
bass, piano, saxophone. This is jazz.
Absolutely, it's maybe the most jazz you can get in a way, to have saxophone, piano, bass, and drums. Of course, yeah. But still, I think we can at least try to stretch the jazz term, don't we? Or I don't know.
We can stretch everything and jazz. Well, before the concert, we exchanged some sentences about Nordic music. Perhaps this is Nordic jazz, isn't it? This kind of music, and it's not easy to find a saxophone player like you who's just standing on the stage and playing, let's say, 15 notes per minute and not 240. And everybody's listening and nobody gets impatient. Is this Nordic, this special relation to perhaps to silence?
Yeah, many people say that especially here in more south of Europe, that.
Wir sind schon im Süden hier.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, compared to Norway, that we have this Norwegian sound, which is sounding like the fjords and the mountains and all this. Might be maybe a bit cliche also, because I mean, for instance, if you see, of course, when you look at Edvard Grieg, one of our most famous composer, he used a lot of the Norwegian folk music when he wrote his music, and that is maybe something that makes his music sound more Nordic or Norwegian than others. But still, he was educated in Germany and Denmark, wasn't he? And was heavily influenced by European composers from Germany and from Hungary and all over. And I think this goes for all of us. I mean, I also listen a lot to, as I said, these flute players from India, and whenever I hear Hariprasad Chaurasia, for example, who lives in Mumbai, in the middle of how many is it, 10, 15 million people living there, this crowded place in the middle of India, and still when he plays, to me I hear the fjords and the mountains and the rivers in Norway. So I think it's a more common language. And also when you go to the folk music, there is a lot of, that was interesting for me, because my entry into folk music was through the Arabic music and the Oriental music, Oriental and Arabic music. It's through the Indian and the Egyptian music. And by studying a lot of that music, I opened my ears also to the Norwegian folk music, which I at that time had not been listening so much to. And the reason I then found interest in my Norwegian folk music roots was actually that I found a lot of similarities between the Arabic and the Indian music and towards the Norwegian folk music. The way they use the quarter tones, for example, is quite similar, and they have kind of same scale system, harmonic system, structures that we do not have in jazz music or in classical music, but you find the same things in the folk music, which is really interesting, I think. And yeah.
So we don't have to be astonished that you are a Norwegian saxophone player, though you don't sound like Jan Garbarek.
Jan who?
Jan Garbarek. Don't know him. Okay. Kristjan, du bist zum Teil in Estland musikalisch sozialisiert, zu einem großen Teil aber auch hier in Deutschland und zu einem eigentlich ebenso großen Teil in den USA, wo du jetzt lebst. Findest du, dass ihr heute Abend eine nordische Version von Jazz gespielt habt?
Also für mich ist das musikalisch konkret eine rhythmische Frage, oder für mich entscheidet sich das auf der rhythmischen Ebene, also diese Kategorisierung von europäisch und amerikanisch, und ganz einfach wenn man schon so Schubladen jetzt aufmacht, dann für mich ist Amerika Swing und Europa nicht. Also es gibt dann so eine schöne stilistische Bezeichnung, also für eben so den europäischen Jazz, das ist dann so Medium ECM Bossa Swing oder so. Das war so die rhythmische Kategorisierung. So. Also das ist auch in dem Sinne kein Latin, also was immer auch das ist. Das sind dann so hüpfende gerade Achtel. Also, in dem Sinne, es gibt definitiv einen Unterschied, aber gerade interessanterweise, I'm going to say this in English because the few pieces that you brought basically a few days ago and said, okay, now we're going to play this, or basically now we're going to record this, because every time we meet, the first thing we do is record. I thought the material was very American. I mean, very like cliché, like super country, triplety, swingy, and so it really created this kind of dilemma in my head. Okay, what are we supposed to do with that? I mean, am I supposed to be now a jazz musician or what? It's like, what are you gonna do? And so now to put this in a context which obviously is more European. I created this kind of interesting conflict, and also was a very good challenge to find ways how to deal with this kind of material. I mean, are you going to play it seriously, or are you going to sort of smile a little bit and make something else out of it? So that was now an interesting addition to that, to me, obviously more European-sounding compilation of songs.
Want to answer something on that? Okay, it was some of these melodies were really kind of Western movie music.
Western movie? Like cowboy and Western or what? Okay. Which one?
I don't know exactly which one. No, but there were some scenes like riding slowly over the prairie.
Yeah. But, yeah, maybe. But aren't they? Many of these movies are filmed in a desert in Egypt, isn't it? Or yeah. So maybe there are some some influences there also. Yeah.
Okay, ich beende jetzt dieses kleine kosmopolitische Gespräch über Musik. Thank you very much for the concert, for the talk. Vielen Dank, Kristjan, für das Konzert und alles. Und Ihnen einen schönen Restabend. Vielen Dank.